Bonjour classe, je m'appelle Citlali et je vais présenter Guadeloupe et Fort Delgrès. So these are a new vocab. So the first one is l'abolition, which means the abolition. The second one, l'esclavage, which means slavery. These are a couple of phrases. Vivre libre, mourir, which means live free or die. The next one is à l'univers entier, le dernier cri de l'innocence et du désespoir, which means to the entire universe, the last cry and despair. This last word isn't French, but I wanted to include it. And it is Curacara, and it means the island of the beautiful waters, and it was used by the Carib Indians to describe the beautiful bodies of waters that one could find in Guadeloupe. So this is a couple maps. So the one on the left is a map that shows the notorious shape of Guadeloupe, and the one on the right is shows where it is in the world. It is in the Caribbean Sea, as you can see. So some history. So the island was first inhabited by the Carib Indians, and it wasn't until 1493 when Christopher Columbus was the first colonizer in Guadeloupe, and he was actually the one that named it. He named it after the Virgin Guadalupe. He later on, the French came and invaded it in 1635, and then that's when a couple of years later, 1650, the French started importing slaves for the production of sugar. So Guadeloupe went from English to Spanish to French rule through the 18th and 19th century. Everybody just wanted this island. And it wasn't until 1816 when it was officially under French ruling. And that is why the people speak French. And in 1946, it became an overseas department of France. So it is officially French. So my artifact is Fort Delgrès. It is a historic memorial. It is also an old military fort and a tourist attraction because of the history. So I'm going to start at the bottom with the pictures. So the bottom left is the entrance to the fort. The middle is kind of the thing that attracts tourists the most because there is a head in the ground, and that is actually Louis Delgrès, which is the person that the fort is named after. And he was actually a very significant figure in this fort. And then in the right, it is another picture of Fort Delgrès. And then top right corner is a memorial for Louis Delgrès. And it is also included in the next slide. So, history. The French had kind of abolished slavery in Guadeloupe a couple of years before 1802. But because the production of sugar was really low, they reimposed slavery again. And Louis Delgrès was a key figure in the abolitionist movement. He disagreed with slavery, of course. And so he kind of led a rebellion against one of Bonaparte's general. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. Rich Pants. He had about 400 followers, and they were no match for the French army. So they were retreated into the fort, and they went up to Matuba, which is kind of like a spring. And that is where Louis Delgrès gave his last proclamation, and that is à l'univers entier, le dernier cri de l'innocence et du désespoir. And because the rebellion's motto was, live free or die. They decided that they would go to the slope of the volcano that is, right next to the fort. They hold themselves up, and that kind of led to them, committing suicide, I guess. They blew themselves up, and that caused them to die and many other French soldiers to die. So they kind of decided that they didn't want to live in slavery, so they would rather die. And that is a very powerful, that is very significant in, the naming of the fort and, the significance that it has to the Guadeloupean people. And then, so less than 200 years later, Louis Delgres' heroism was recognized, and the fort was named after him. And in Matuba, the spring where, they died, they have a little memorial for him. And yeah, that's it. That is my bibliography. Thank you.